Hello, it's Muhammad Atif again. Today I'm going to show you how to configure two routers in two different sites to be able to communicate with each other. We spoke in the last class about how to configure a router and how to connect a router to computer and to get the hyper terminal screen to be able to configure the router. Today I'm going to show you how to configure two routers in two different sites. I'm going to use the packet tracer simulator to demonstrate what I'm talking about, and we are going to install two different routers, assuming that they are located in two different places, could be two different cities or two different countries, and I'm going to connect them with each other with a serial connection through this cable. And as you can see right now that the both routers are physically connected, but they cannot see each other. That's why the LED are red, meaning that they are not they cannot see each other right now. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to click on the first router and I'm going to go to the command line prompt, and usually, as we spoke before, whenever you start the router for the first time, if it doesn't have a configuration on it, he will ask you if you want to configure the router using the wizard, and usually I don't recommend to use such wizard because it will only give you the basic configuration or help you to get the basic configuration. So I'm going to choose no, and I will start to configure the router manually. Whenever any Cisco device, router or switch start, it has two different modes, the regular mode or the user mode, and the user mode has this prompt, and this is a very limited mode. You cannot change any of the configuration. And you have the privilege mode or the administrator mode, which has all the privilege and which you can change the setting from. So whenever you are starting a router, it usually starts by default from the user mode, and you need to escalate your mode to a privilege mode. We do that by typing enable. So enable will change from user mode to privilege mode, from where you can change the configuration. And you can recognize the privilege mode by having this hash as a prompt. Second step is to go to the configuration mode. Right now I'm in the privilege mode, but I only can use or can do the show comments. So I can ask for show running configuration. It will show me the running configuration, or I can type show version to see the version of the iOS, or I can type show interface to check the interface configuration, as right now none of the interface has any configuration. So the regular privilege mode only allow me to check or to use the show command. So I need to go to the configuration mode. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go first to the global configuration mode by typing config terminal. This will allow me or log into the global configuration mode. This kind of configuration is the configuration on the whole router, is not the configuration on a specific interface. So you only can configure the command like the host name to configure the router name, or any comments that will be on the whole router. If I need to configure a specific interfaces, so I will type after the global configuration interface, and I will choose what interface I need to configure. Let me see. This is interface S20, serial 20. So I will ask him to log on to the interface serial 20. So right now I'm in the privilege mode inside the global configuration inside the interface serial 02. The point is to be able to make the two routers see each other, or to connect logically the two routers. I need to assign an IP address on each of the interfaces, and then to open or to allow the interface to be working, because usually in the router the interface is by default shut down. So what I need to do on each router is to log on to the interface, assign an IP, and open the interface. So right now I am on the left router, and I will assign an IP address. So I went to the interface and I will type IP address 192.168.1.2, and I have to also add the subnet mask, and we spoke about the definition of the subnet mask and the IP before. So I did assign an IP address on the interface. I also need to adjust the clock rate. We spoke earlier about what is the clock rate, and finally I need to type no shutdown to open the port. So right now the left router has been configured. I went to the privilege mode, then the global configuration, then the interface, and I did assign an IP on the interface, and then I opened the interface by typing no shutdown. I have to do the same issue or the same setting on the second router, except that I have to put a different IP, but both IP should be on the same network. So I will close this terminal and I will click on the second router. I will go the command line. As we spoke before, I will not allow the auto configuration wizards. I will log on to the privilege mode and then config terminal to log on to the global configuration, and then I will choose the interface. Let's see which interface has been, I'm sorry, serial 20 also. So I will ask him to log into interface serial 20, and I have to assign an IP address, and the IP address should be in the same network. So it should start with 192.168.1, and I can put 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever. Then I should put the subnet mask, and the clock rate as we spoke, and finally to open the port. Excellent. As you can see that the line protocol on the interface has become change state to up. So right now you can see that the light has been changed to green, meaning that both routers will be able to communicate with each other. I can go to any one of them to make sure that they will be able to communicate, and I can ping on each one of them from the other side. So I will ask him to ping to 192.168.1.3, and as you can see the ping was successfully. So right now both routers will be able to communicate together And finally I have to save the setting, because if we restart the router without saving, I will lose all the configuration. So I can copy running start, and by doing that I have saved the configuration. So this was a small demonstration about how to configure two routers and to allow them to communicate to each other. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.